Breaking news, guys. Nigerians in shock as Nigerian Senate increases 2024 budget submitted by Tinubu to 28.7 trillion naira. The Senate on Saturday increased the 2024 Nigerian budget by a total of 1.2 trillion, moving the budget from 27.5 trillion submitted by President Bola Tinubu to 28.7 trillion naira. Sahara reporters earlier reported that the Nigerian Upper Legislative Chamber, the Senate, commenced a special plenary on the consideration and passage of the 2024 appropriation bill. President Bola Tinubu on November 29 presented a total of 27.5 trillion budget proposal to a joint section of the National Assembly. The president had pegged the budget deficit for the 2024 fiscal year at 9.18 trillion naira. He said the deficit represents 3.88% of Nigeria's gross domestic product. Tinubu stated the 9.18 trillion deficit is lower than the 13.78 trillion deficit recorded in 2023, which represents 6.11% of GDP. The deficit will be financed by new borrowings totaling 7.83 trillion and 298.409 billion from privatization proceeds and 1.05 trillion drawn down on multilateral and bilateral loans secured for specific development projects. These do not go down well with majority of Nigerians who have cried out on the way this government, is really going. Meanwhile, the Tinubu ignored CBN investigators' recommendation, right Senate to approve conversion of 7.3 trillion ways and means revenue without assessment. And this is one of those things, they are saying about the CBN governor. We don't even know what they are doing. You still want to commit the same crime? You said the former CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, waiting be named, committed. President Bola Tinubu has sought Senate to approve Senate approval to convert 7.3 trillion balance of ways and means of revenue in Nigeria's Consolidated Revenue Fund (CRF) into federal assets. The president's request is strictly against the recommendation of a special investigator on the Central Bank of Nigeria, Jim Obazi, who had said the balance was dubiously and illegally incurred and should be reassessed before Senate authorization. Sahara reporters had reported on Wednesday that Obazi, a former executive secretary to the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, made the recommendation in his final report, tagged Report of the Special Investigation on CBN and Related Entities, Chargeable Offences, submitted to the President. The report revealed that the management of the Central Bank of Nigeria, under the leadership of the former governor Godwin Emefiele, fraudulently used 26.627 trillion ways and means of the Apis Bank. In contrast to the investigators' recommendation, Tinubu sent a letter addressed to Senate President Godwin Akpabio, which was read at plenary on Saturday, seeking for the approval to convert the balance. The president's letter, according to the news agency of Nigeria, read, "I would like to call the attention of the Senate to provisions of Section 38 of the CBN Act 2007, which stipulates that the Apis Bank may grant temporary advances to the federal government. In respect of the temporary deficiency of budget revenue provided, such overdrafts do not surpass 5% of government revenue from the previous year. The Senate is invited to note that from available information by the CBN, the Consolidated Revenue Fund, that is CRF, account of the federal government of Nigeria, stood at 7.3 trillion as of December 2023, which is due to domestic debt servicing, principal and interest. While the federal government is considering various measures to forestall the use of way and means advances for domestic debt servicing, he said. The president said the scrutinization was imperative as it would help reduce debt service costs. The scrutinization of the ways and means will lead to the realization of the following benefits, among others: reduction of debt service costs, as the interest rate for the scrutinized ways and means is lowered to 9% compared to 3% previously adopted. The savings arising from the much lower interest rate will help to reduce the deficits in the budget and improve debt transparency as scrutinized ways and means advances are included in the public debt statistics. In view of the foregoing, the Senate is invited to kindly consider and approve the scrutinization of the outstanding debt balance of 7.3 trillion in the same order as at December 2023. So now see why I say Nigeria is finished. Okay now, no wahala. Hey. So guys, let's hear from you. Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section. Thank you for always stopping by.